Juyong Pass stands silent under the moon, guarding the road to Beijing. On the parapet, a Ming watchman tastes smoke. Before he sees fire, torches bloom in the valley, thousands of sparks flowing through the mountain throat. The river of riders slows, and the air itself holds its breath. Somewhere below, Altan Khan watches the wall. Like a wolf studying a fence, the watchman turns to run, and the courtyard erupts in white light. A tear opens in the air, bright as lightning, silent as snow. Two armored carriers crash onto stone, engines growling, inside the ancient gatehouse. 30 modern soldiers spill out, boots skidding on centuries of dust. Captain Reeves raises a hand, and the squad snaps into a tight security ring. Radios hiss with nothing. Phones show blank bars like dead eyes. Sergeant Ortega touches the bricks and knows this wall is real. In the center, the glowing tear pulses. Shrinking like a closing wound, Reeves points to the vehicles and names them. Bull 1 and Bull 2. Bull 1 noses into the tunnel, sealing it like a steel cork. Bull 2 holds the courtyard. Turret covering the stairs, and parapet access. Reeves speaks low, one rule only. Ammo is life tonight. He watches the tier breathe and sets the mission. With no backup, hold Juyong Pass until dawn, then cross. If the sky opens again, below, the Torch River shifts, and a small group rides forward. 5 riders stop at bow range, staring up at metal shapes in the courtyard. An arrow arcs high, hits stone, and dies in the dust. Reeves orders one shot, and the rifle answers. With quiet certainty, a rider collapses off his saddle, and the others freeze in disbelief. Second shot, another man drops. Panic pulls the rest backward. Ortega watches the retreat and whispers. The valley is learning. Altan Khan hears invisible thunder and smiles. Because fear is information, he sends scouts wide. Along the slopes, searching blind corners, he orders arrows in lazy arcs, not to kill, but to bait fire. Reeves refuses, letting arrows clatter, while silence saves bullets. Bull 2 holds the courtyard, turret covering the stairs, and parapet access. Reeves speaks low. One rule only. Ammo is life tonight. He watches the tier breathe and sets the mission. With no backup, hold Juyong Pass until dawn, then cross. If the sky opens again, below, the Torch River shifts, and a small group rides forward. 5 riders stop at bow range, stirring up at metal shapes in the courtyard. An arrow arcs high, hits stone, and dies in the dust. Reeves orders one shot, and the rifle answers. With quiet certainty, a rider collapses off his saddle, and the others freeze in disbelief. Second shot, another man drops. Panic pulls the rest backward. Ortega watches the retreat and whispers. The valley is learning. Altan Khan hears invisible thunder and smiles. Because fear is information, he sends scouts wide, along the slopes, searching blind corners. He orders arrows in lazy arcs, not to kill, but to bait fire. Reeves refuses, letting arrows clatter, while silence saves bullets. In the haze, hooks bite again, this time by the dozen. Ortega waits, letting impatience pull them into range. A flare erupts overhead. Smoke turns to daylight. Shadows become targets. Rifles crack in rhythm. Climbers drop. No wasted spray. Grenades pop low. The corner becomes rope and bodies. Survivors slip away. But the smoke stays, thick and patient. Altan shifts from climbing to cracking the throat of the pass. Men find an old drainage gap beneath the tunnel and crawl inside. A wooden ram begins to thud, not on the outer gate, but under stone. Reeves hears the echo and realizes they're inside the throat. Ortega traces brick seams. Maintenance passages can betray them. Reeves orders Bull 1 forward, sealing the tunnel like a steel plug. The ram hits again and dies against armor. Shouting rises beyond the steel, fury meeting, an unbreakable door. For one heartbeat, Reeves feels hope, and hope tries to kill him. Flaming arrows arc overhead. Pitch bundles bloom into fire on wood. Smoke pours down stairwells. Black water, swallowing breath. Bull 2's light cuts flames. The wall fills with moving shadows. Outside, ladders slam stone, tops disappearing into smoke. Reeves holds fire until he sees hands, because bullets are rare. Bull 2 fires short bursts. Ladders shred. Men fall into the throat, but the wave keeps coming. Not everywhere, only at weak points. In side rooms, the attackers squeeze around Bull 1, blades ready. A soldier turns a corner, meets a curved sword at arm's length. Reeves runs in, pistol up, choosing discipline over panic. 2 controlled shots through smoke. The attacker collapses. Ortega drags a wounded private, blood dark, eyes wide. Above, an elite climber crests, aiming for the stairs. The private fires once, then hears the empty click. The climber charges, and the wall walk becomes a knife fight. Ortega tackles him sideways, takes a cut, refuses to let go. Reeves arrives with a knife, ends it. In brutal silence, the squad's breathing grows louder. Smoke makes lungs betray discipline. Reeves checks magazines, sees the future. Borrowed minutes only. In the courtyard, the tear pulses brighter as dawn approaches. Altan senses thinning defense, orders final pressure to begin. War drums roll, deep enough to vibrate stone. A dense ladder wave surges. Shields overhead, climbing through fire-lit smoke. Bull 2 tracks left to right, cutting ladders like wheat. Still, a few reach the parapet, and everyone costs blood. In the tunnel, Bull 1 sits dead, blocking the throat. A side door splinters. 3 attackers pour in, toward the stairwell. Reeves throws a flash. Stone corridor blooms into white confusion. Ortega moves in. 2 sharp bursts. The breach ends. Outside, archers shift targets, aiming at wood and fuel. Flames climb beams. Sparks drift down like orange snow. A soldier stamps at fire. A stray arrow finds a gap in armor. He drops, and Reeves feels the count shrink. Ortega yells wounded inward, toward the courtyard center, away from burning walls. Bull 2 backs a meter, using its bulk as moving cover. Reeves sees the tier widen, edges flickering, like heat. He understands. The portal waits for dawn, like they do. Altan's spear tip moves again. Elite men for the stairs. Reeves orders stairs-only coverage, accepting blind spots. Elsewhere, a climber crests screaming. A rifle butt meets him. Both crash down. Another attacker appears. Ortega fires, then goes empty. He draws his knife. Because centuries don't matter at this distance in the courtyard. Bull 2's belt runs thin. The gunner shakes. Reeves orders shorter bursts, turning automatic fire into a scalpel. Smoke slips into helmets. The squad sounds like hunted animals. Altan sees inches gained, and inches are all he needs. He orders a final surge, trading bodies for seconds. Ladders rise again, 3 deep. The parapet crowds. A soldier fires last rounds, then grabs a spear like it's 1550. Reeves sees the moment. Guns become clubs, clubs become hands. He calls fallback to the tier, because holding longer means dying here. Ortega pulls men back in pairs, never turning backs. To the stairs. Bull 2 backs toward the tear. Turret still barking. Into smoke. Bull 1's dead hull groans. Attackers pound uselessly on steel. Fire eats the last beam. Burning debris crashes down by the stairs. A scream cuts the courtyard. Reeves watches. Another soldier fall. The tear flares brighter, widening as morning feeds it. Reeves orders extraction. No hero moves. Not tonight. Bull 2 fires the longest burst. A roar to buy seconds. Reeves counts heads through white light, one by one, like prayers. A wounded private stumbles. Ortega grabs him, drags him forward. An attacker lunges from smoke. A point-blank shot stops him. Bull 2 rolls last, tires slipping on soot, turret scanning. As the vehicle crosses, the tear snaps shut like a jaw. The courtyard falls silent, except fire and crackling wood. Altan rides in at dawn, stepping around bodies and broken ladders. He sees Bull 1 wedged in the tunnel, silent metal, with no horses. He touches the armor, pulls his hand back, like it burned. Brass shells glitter on stone. Strange seeds, nobody understands. Altan studies scorch marks and knows this was power. He doesn't chase ghosts. His war is speed, not curiosity. He orders the Torch River forward, flowing south toward Beijing. High above, the Ming watchman survives. Staring at the burned courtyard, he will tell monks and officers of iron beasts and silent thunder. Years later, that story hardens into legend and fear. Back in their own time, Reeves drops to one knee, counting survivors. 24 answer the count. 6 names stay behind in history. Ortega wraps his bleeding arm and says it flat. Minutes, not miracles. Bull 2 sits nearby, armor blackened, alive by inches. Bull 1 is gone, left behind as a steel cork. Echo Squad spent nearly everything, and still, the pass almost broke. Several hundred fell at the wall, and still, smoke nearly won. Lesson stays simple. When smoke comes, distance disappears. Option A, Thermopylae, 1 pass, 1 night. Option B, Constantinople, 1 breach, 1 dawn. Vote A or B, and we lock the story to one place again.